Okay, in this video, I'm going to try to talk about the word education. Education. So one thing led to another. I've been talking, meditating, or contemplating about the word edu. Okay, and how it connects to the name Muhammad. Muhammad. So I made a video previously. I may upload that also. So if you may be wondering how the word Edu and Muhammad are linked, you may take a look at that video. I haven't uploaded it also, but I'm gonna try to do that. Maybe I'm gonna, upload them at the same time. So education. That's what I want to talk about today. So, simply put, I would just say education means learning about what's hidden, what's mysterious. So, generally, I would say learning about God. So, God is a mysterious one because God is mysterious in His ways, the way He does His miracles, the way He does things. It makes us surprised every time you're like awed with the way things sometimes work out because we're not expecting it, and that's how God works. That's the mystery. And every time every single day, everyone wants to learn more. Not everybody, of course, but many people are looking for that mystery. How does that happen? Or how come? What is making it happen the particular way? Okay, there's so many knowledge in the world already today, big time, sometimes unimaginable. If I want to compare my own knowledge to what I've experienced, sometimes I would say probably I know nothing. But the little that I know, when God has given me to know, I would love to share. And I've been doing that so many years. I mean, not so many years since the time I was told to start talking about these things and sharing it. I'm going to mention this on this video. I previously I have a channel on YouTube, and I had some videos put up there, but for some reasons, mysteriously, these videos were deleted, and they're all gone. I don't know where they are now. Kept somewhere, I don't know. So, but I'm just gonna start making new videos. So, yeah, let's see how that goes. So I'm gonna be talking about education today. So the word education. It's important, of course. Everybody talks about having education, being educated, and stuff like that. But the history of education is very, very, very underestimated. I would say that because nobody really talks about the history. Although we study history in school, but the history of education itself is very, very underestimated. Uh, and that is not good because the more we know about how it all came about, the better we become as students and as as people in general. Okay, and maybe that will also help us to close the gap between us and see how not generally different that we are, how similar we are in many ways, and that will encourage us to be more friendly to one another. Okay, so education, if we break down etymologically the word education, we have education. Very good. So so we have education. That's the etymology. I don't have my board here to demonstrate how this but I have a notepad here. It's now this setting is not conducive. I hope very soon I'll have a much more up to standard kind of setting to talk about this thing and analyze and give very clear analysis. Anyway, as I used to do in the past. So education. So uh, of course, education is acquiring knowledge. That's the brief you know, explanation we might give it to acquire knowledge. Okay, so and acquiring knowledge about what? That's the second question we want to ask. What kind of knowledge is that? So we have different subjects. We have mathematics, we have history, we have geography, and so on and so forth. And if you pay attention to it, the idea of having knowledge is not about making money later on, because that used to be I mean, that is what it is now. You go to school to learn information so you can start making money afterwards, after school. That's the concept today. But the idea in the past of knowledge is learning about how to make life better for yourself, for your family, and for the society. You learn about God. That's education, learning about God. Because when you learn about God, you're learning the mysteries, things that are unclear, things that are like, how does it work? So when you learn how it works, you learn the secret of how things work, then you'll be useful to yourself, to your family, and to the society. That's the idea of education. But today, of course, things have been capitalized, and everybody wants to do it for themselves. Like, I do it for myself, I do it for my family. No, we should do it for the world. Yeah, we do it for the world. So, because if everybody have the mindset of learning things or going to school because I want to make the world better, then we don't have any problem in the world anymore. That's the path to complete peace. Okay, so if we truly want to have peace in this world, we engineer our brains, our mind, we restructure our mindsets to focus on education as the path to making the world better, not as a path to making my life better personally and my family, and that's it. I don't give any other reason. I mean, I don't have any other reason to make the world better. No, making the world a better place should be the main idea. That, oh, okay, John, you're going to school today, or you're starting school today because your goal in this world is to make the best and make the world better in a way that you can. So what subjects you like? I mean, whatever subject a child likes in school, there'll be a hint of how he has been chosen to make the world better. So if you like, for example, you like mathematics, then you can of course become an engineer or whatever similar profession you might have to make the world better. In your way, you create uh, the possibility for the world to be improved in that area. And if your favorite subject, of course, is languages, of course, you are a link between two tribes, between two worlds, because you love languages, and language actually unites two, two peoples. I'll put it that way, because if you can speak two languages, you can interpret for the two parties. In that way, you are the link between two worlds. Okay. So there's so many things that could be said about education. Right. The idea, just to recap very quickly, the idea of education is not about self achievement. Like, yes, I made it. If your achievement doesn't link with you being so proud of saying, yeah, I made the world better in a particular percentage. It could be 1%, that's fine. Then you've not achieved anything. You've not achieved education. Okay? So there's so many levels to education, there's so many information to be learned. So some are given the physical education, some are given the spiritual education, some are given the talent to learn different aspects of education. But the main goal of any level, any kind of education is to come out and make the world better and bring the light to the world. The light, because education is learning the dark mystery of this world and bringing it into light. Okay, let me repeat that. Education is learning the dark mystery. When I say dark, it doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean somebody okay, because some people can freak out like, oh, dark knowledge, oh, that's bad. No. something that is hidden. When you learn about it, oh, this is how it works, then you bring it to light, bring it to the world and share it and pass it on. Okay? There is a verse in the Quran that says, فَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ, which means, so okay, well, generally what people actually translate that to be is talk about what God has done for you, talk about the greatness, I mean the wealth. It's actually generally referred to, connected to wealth, money and goodness and testimony, put it that way. But that's not the meaning of that verse. The true meaning is the whatever knowledge bestowed on you, ima, nima. Nima means to have knowledge. Ni, ima, ni means to have. Ima means knowledge. So nima. Amma binimati rabbika. So ima, obare. If you have knowledge from God, hadith, talk about it, share it, pass it on. That's the concept. It's been that way for long. Since day one. Animals learn things from God and they share it with humans sometimes. Knowledge can be acquired in different ways, from different angles, from anybody. It could be a child, it could be an adolescent, it could be your grandfather, it could be anybody. Knowledge it flows through anybody, through any electric being. You can learn from birds. You can learn from. We've heard stories of how people learned from animals. So that's it. You learn it, you pass it on, because if you don't pass it, you're not fulfilling your destiny. So the destiny of this world, of the world of education, is as soon as you learn about it, you pass it on. Pass it to your children, pass it to your grandchildren, pass it to your great-grandchildren. Okay? That's it. We don't go to school because we want to make money. We go to school because we want to acquire knowledge to pass it on. And that's the final stage of knowledge, final stage of education. If you haven't passed it on, you haven't reached this stage. Because during this time when you're passing on information, you explode even with more information. During the process of teaching, of passing on information, that's when you actually reach the utmost stage of your knowledge, of your attainment of enlightenment. That's the stage. So you learn it gradually, you process it, you store it, but you don't keep it there. It actually could work parallelly, because you may be learning at the same time teaching it. Okay, so but the main thing is the final goal, the final stage is making the world better. Okay, so if you learn something that could be beneficial for the world, do not keep it to yourself. You pass it on. You share it, talk about it, make videos like this. And I've been doing this for a while now. Okay, so because I know there's no development that will there's never going to be development without information, and information comes through communication. So that's why we have to communicate. So communication is important. That's communication means passing information. It's inflow, it's correspondence, it goes in and out. Okay, pass it on. That's about education. So education itself is learning the mystery. Edu. It's Yoruba. It's a Yoruba language. Okay, it's from the old Yoruba language. Education. So the K, education, spelled with CA. You say K. For example, okay. Now I'm going back to etymology. Okay, this is not the main idea of this video to just to prove that I could etymologize words, which is one of the gifts that I have. Maybe have more gifts, I don't know, but that's another thing that I'm trying to do now. I'm just responding to the call. Talk about the good things. That's what it's actually been translated as. Like, talk about the good things that God has given you. Well, yes, having a talent is a good thing. Talking about it is also a good thing, but the main idea is the information, the knowledge given to you, you have to share it, you have to pass it on. And that's what I'm doing now. pass it on. Okay, so it could come in different ways. We get different information through dreams, through our intuition. It could be anything. It could be any level of, it could come to you in different ways. Okay, if your mind has been open to understand that, okay, this is something talking to me, okay, let me listen and let me see what's trying to say. It could be directly, in a loud way, just like I'm talking to you now. It could be spiritually. Okay, it could come in a different way, in different ways, and knowledge can flow through anybody. So pay attention all the time, because education doesn't have to be you going to school, but that's of course, that's the well organized place to acquire knowledge. You go to school, you have your subjects. Of course, we don't want to talk about that now. Actually, how the system could be placed, but no, but the fact is, when you get information, knowledge, you pass it on. All right. So education, edu means mystery. What's hidden? K means to read in Yoruba language, or ka. Because if you write down the K, education is CA, you can pronounce it as ka. Okay, for example, K in Yoruba language means to read. Ka also means to read. For example, the Arabic students will say, Oloka, okake, okewu, okewu, he reads ewu, ewi. Because sometimes when you reading the Quran, it sounds like a poem. So that's why they say, okewu, okewi. So oka means to read. Oka means a wise person. So learning, so that's to ka, means to learn. So learning edu, learning the mystery, learning the secrets, learning the information, learning what life is about, and promoting that to make it better, to make the world better. It's not for your own personal gain, okay, to become the best, to make the most money. No, 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 no. The main idea, which is the goal of every single person in this world, is to put your own, to make your own impact. And that's by acquiring knowledge and passing it on and using it to make the life better. Even though it's 0.0000001%, if you haven't used your education to make the world better in a single way, in a particular way, then you haven't achieved your final stage of enlightenment, or you haven't reached your goal in life. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it short. I'll keep this video short, 20-minute mark. And yes, probably continue with more later on. Thank you, God. Thank you, Father, for giving me this video, giving me this information. I feel it's from you daily. Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful time. Happy New Year.